I would, if you wouldn't mind, Supervisor Ivy, if you mind leading us in the invocation and the pledge of allegiance, please, sir.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask for your continued blessing on this family, and please impart wisdom for us to make the right decisions for this community as you would have us do. In your name we pray, amen. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Maybe soon. Also, before we proceed any further, I'd like for everyone may notice that Mr. Smith is not here with us tonight, and he has a sickness in his family. We would remember his family in your prayers. We greatly appreciate it. And I will remind everyone of the quorum. These proceedings will be observed. Yes. Also, Mr. Fan, he's out, not able to be with us this afternoon. And everybody in too. The meeting will be held in order and consistent with any legislative or proceeding in the Commonwealth of Virginia to ask for your respect and during any period of may have a presenter or anyone that give them respect, quite not interrupting them. But we do appreciate everyone being with us tonight. Good to have you here with us. Chair would entertain motion with the one change to the agenda, which would be presentation by Mr. Sperling on concerning agriculture and natural resource update on the agricultural land use usage. And he has requested to make that presentation at the April 13th meeting due to a meeting he will have to attend during the same time as our March meeting. And with that, Chair would entertain a motion. Okay. Second. Okay. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye. So, which would make us to the next item on the agenda, which would be old business resolution of the VRS enhanced hazardous duty benefits. Ms. Gerhardt.
Mr. Chairman, as was presented last month at the regular board of supervisors meeting, come before you asking to pass this resolution for enhanced hazardous duty benefits for EMTs who would be hired by the county. It was suggested that this be put on our regular Grayson County format as you have before you, instead of the template provided by the VRS. We did get permission that was perfectly fine with the VRS if it's on in our format, as long as the wording was the same. Again, just to reiterate and summarize what this is for, we already have hazardous benefits for our other positions, such as police officers, sheriff's deputies that work in the county. This is another position, same hazardous duties that they're facing day to day in their operation of their duties. It's just to cover them. It is at no extra expense to the county. And if there's any other questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Okay.
Board's pleasure. Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
I know Supervisor Fant, he's the one that wanted to table this last month. Maybe I shouldn't be carrying that water for him, but I'm going to since he's not here. There's no opposition to that. One of the things that he wanted to bring up, I think, at this meeting was we're doing it for our paid employees. I think he's actually asked Mr. Hoyle to look for incentives that we can give our volunteers. Since they're not covered in this and they're doing the same work in the county. We're still in a volunteer paid system right now, and I believe that he's asked to make some incentives for our volunteers.
There's no opposition to this, just we need a consideration.
We need to figure out creative ways to take care of everybody, not just our paid system.
Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we have had that conversation, but me personally, and Mr. Wells had that conversation with Mr. Van. We are working on that, actively working on that with some proposals that will be in this upcoming.
Thank you.
Yeah. This is the board, I'll read the resolution.
Please.
This is my comment. Resolution for the Grayson County Board of Supervisors for enhanced hazardous duty benefits. Whereas subject to the approval of the Virginia Retirement System or VRS Board of Trustees, Code of Virginia, section 51.1-138 permits a political subdivision of the Commonwealth of Virginia currently participating in VRS to make an irrevocable election to provide enhanced hazardous duty retirement benefits for its eligible employees as outlined in section 51.1-138. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Grayson County Board of Supervisors, the employer, does hereby elect to have such employees of the employer who are employed in positions as full-time emergency medical technicians and whose tenure is not restricted as to temporary or provisional appointment may become eligible effective the first day of March 2023 for VRS benefits equivalent to those provided for state police officers of the Department of State Police as set out in section 51.1-138, including the retirement multiplier at 1.7 in lieu of the benefits that would otherwise be provided to such employees. An employer agrees to pay the employer costs for providing such benefits. And now therefore, the officers of employer are hereby authorized and directed in the name of the employer to carry out the provisions of this resolution and to pay the treasurer of Virginia from time to time such sums as are due to be paid by employer for this purpose.
I believe you also stated that this was no additional cost.
Correct. This would be no more than hiring an additional deputy.
Make a motion that we approve the resolution as presented.
Thank you.
Okay. I believe the resolution will require a roll call vote. Okay. Mr. Anderson.
Aye.
Mr. Ivan.
Aye.
Mr. Belton. Chair also aye. Next, with under new business, the opioid settlement approvals, and this will be Mr. Steve Durbin, County Attorney, via Zoom. Do we have you, Mr. Durbin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can everyone hear me all right?
Yes, sir.
Great. So thank you for allowing me to discuss this with you tonight, and thank you for allowing the use of Zoom. Just wanted to bring this to your attention for your consideration. Litigation Counsel has recommended the approval of the proposed resolution that that was prepared and distributed. I think you all have a copy there with you at your seats. But as you'll recall, Grayson County elected to join the nationwide litigation concerning the opioid crisis to hold those parties responsible who had a hand in contributing to the opioid epidemic. We have previously reached, during the course of litigation, your litigation counsel has previously brought settlements to you with Purdue Pharma, Cardinal, McKesson, and AmerisourceBergen. Those settlements, are in excess of $20 billion combined. Those are nationwide settlements, and they are distributed in accordance with the MOU that was agreed by pretty much all Virginia localities and the Commonwealth of Virginia to govern the distribution of these settlement funds. And that provides for a portion to go directly to the localities themselves, a portion to go to the Commonwealth to compensate the Commonwealth for its damages, and for a significant portion to go to the Virginia Opioid Abatement Authority, which then in turn distributes funds throughout the Commonwealth largely for mitigation of the opioid epidemic. So that's what you've previously considered and approved in the past. What you have before you now are additional settlements that have been reached, reaching back to November of 2022. A $3.1 billion nationwide settlement was finalized with Walmart, one of the largest opioid retailers in the country. Additionally, two separate settlements were reached in the amount of $4.25 billion and $2.37 billion, respectively, with Teva and Allergan, who are some of the largest manufacturers of opioid products. Additionally, nationwide settlements more recently were finalized with CVS and Walgreens, worth about $5 billion and $5.7 billion, respectively. Combined, we're talking about $18.7 billion nationwide in settlement funds, which will go to state and local governments as compensation and for abatement of the harms that have befallen the nation as a result of the opioid crisis. The Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares has recently given his approval and endorsement of these proposed settlements, and your litigation counsel has concurred. I've reviewed the updates and the recommendations of litigation counsel, not only for Grayson County, but for some of the other localities that I work with that are not represented by the same litigation counsel, but would also share the same recommendation. So you're getting this recommendation fairly unanimously. The way that the settlements would work, these would be, if approved, the funds would be distributed in accordance with the MOU that you've already approved and you're already party to. So it would just be additional money distributed in the same fashion that the money is already being distributed to the Commonwealth, to the localities, including Grayson County. The way it works is that more participation, because the defendants want to make sure that they're actually obtaining peace in this litigation for their agreement to pay these funds, they're willing to put more money into the settlements if there is a higher level of participation among the localities. So that's one reason why litigation counsel is recommending approval and asking you to act now or at latest at your March meeting, because the higher level of participation Virginia has, the larger the settlement funds will be that Virginia receives. And assuming there's sufficient participation, as I said, the money will begin to flow and be distributed in accordance with the MOU that has already been approved. Additionally, the settlements would include some injunctive relief for the defendants to change some of the practices that they've had, which have led to the opioid crisis. Additionally, manufacturer, I believe it's Teva, will be donating hundreds of millions of dollars in naloxone kits, which is Narcan, essentially, so that that will be another means to mitigate the opioid epidemic. The Virginia Opioid Abatement Authority has recently held a training and informational session for the localities to understand the best practices in expending the funds that you receive. It's my recommendation that you follow those guidelines, that you maintain in the gold standard. Some of the settlements that, if approved today, some of those settlements wouldn't necessarily require the gold standard, but you want to maintain the gold standard in order to be eligible for additional distributions from the Opioid Abatement Authority. But if there are any specific questions, I'd be happy to follow up with you on that, as far as if you're considering specific expenditures as you move forward with this process. But for this evening, the action item that I would be recommending is that the board take up the resolution that's been presented and approve it. Once approved, I'd ask that it be endorsed, and we can send that on to our Opioid Litigation Council.
Questions? Okay. We'll read the resolution. Ms. Gahart's going to read the resolution, Mr. Durden.
A resolution of the Board of Supervisors of the County of Grayson approving of the county's participation in the proposed settlement of opioid-related claims against Teva, Allergan, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and their related corporate entities, and directing the county administrator and/or the county attorney to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the county's participation in the settlements. Whereas the opioid epidemic that has cost thousands of human lives across the country and also impacts Grayson County by adversely impacting the delivery of emergency medical, law enforcement, criminal justice, social services, mental health, and substance abuse services, educational services, and other services by Grayson County's various departments and agencies. And whereas Grayson County has been required and will continue to be required to allocate substantial taxpayer dollars, resources, staff energy, and time to address the damage the opioid epidemic has caused and continues to cause the citizens of Grayson County. And whereas Grayson County has filed suit against Teva, Allergan, Walgreens, CVS, and certain of their related corporate entities for their role in the distribution, manufacture, and sale of the pharmaceutical opioid products that have fueled the opioid epidemic that has harmed Grayson County. And whereas the county's suit seeks recovery of the public funds previously expended and to be expended in the future to abate the consequences and harms of the opioid epidemic. And whereas settlement proposals have been negotiated that will cause Teva, Allergan, Walmart, Walgreens, and CVS to pay billions of dollars nationwide to resolve opioid-related claims against them. And whereas the county has approved and adopted the Virginia Opioid Abatement Fund and Settlement Allocation Memorandum of Understanding, the Virginia MOU, and affirms that these pending settlements with Teva, Allergan, Walmart, CVS, and Walgreens shall be considered settlements that are subject to the Virginia MOU and shall be administered and allocated in the same manner as the opioid settlements entered into previously with the distributors and Janssen. And whereas the county's outside opioid litigation council has recommended that the county participate in the settlements in order to recover its share of the funds that the settlement would provide. And whereas the county attorney has reviewed the available information about the proposed settlements and concurs with the recommendation of outside counsel. Now therefore be it resolved that the Grayson County Board of Supervisors this 9th day of February 2023 approves of the county's participation in the proposed settlement of opioid-related claims against Teva, Allergan, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and their related corporate entities, and directs the county administrator and/or the county attorney to execute the documents necessary to effectuate the county's participation in the settlements, including the required release of claims against settling entities. Adopted by the Grayson County Board of Supervisors on this 9th day of February 2023. Effective date, this resolution shall become effective the day of its adoption.
Chair to entertain a motion to adopt the resolution.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we adopt the resolution as presented.
Second, any discussion? Hearing no discussion, this will be a roll call vote. Mr. Anderson? Aye. Mr. Ivy? Aye. Mr. Belton? Aye. Chair also aye.
Very good, gentlemen. I think this is a very positive step forward in resolving the harms done to Virginia and its localities. So I thank you for your time, and if there's any questions, I'd be happy to stay on, but otherwise I will I'll just drop off.
Thank you for your help, Steve.
Yes, appreciate it very much.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate you all. Have a good evening, everyone.
Next, under new business, the road abandonment request. Jada, right?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The planning department was asked back in December about a road abandonment for Camp Dickinson. I met with Mr. Anthony Gomez yesterday so that I could kind of put together a map. I know it's not great. I really miss our GIS person, but I wanted you to have an idea of where this abandonment request is at. I couldn't understand it while talking to him on the phone, so I just went down and met with him so that I could get a little more information. So I would like to read the request before we make that decision. So it's on behalf of Camp Dickinson Board of Directors and the New River District, formerly the Withville District, of the Office of Holston Conference of the United Methodist Church. I am writing to you today in regards of Camp Dickinson Lane, State Route 640. We are formally requesting the easternmost 239 foot of roadway be abandoned for state maintenance by the Virginia Department of Transportation. At the point where we are requesting abandonment, we are the only property owner on either side of the road for approximately 4,500 feet. This request is prompted by our desire to move our entrance gate to help manage site access. As an organization that regularly services children and families, we are concerned about the current state of accessibility to our property by the general public. Presently, individuals are able to access our facilities via State Route 640 by driving around our main driveway where our current gate is located. We regularly encounter individuals who come to our property to access the river and pursue other outdoor recreation who claim to be unaware of the utilizing private property despite posted signage. This creates significant liability to our guests, staff, physical property, and other assets. We have sought and received confirmation from the regional VDOT supervisor that our proposed gate structure will allow VDOT vehicles sufficient space to turn around when maintaining the rest of the roadway. We have begun the process of deeding access to VDOT for the required portion of our driveway for this purpose. Thank you for the consideration in this matter. So as you can tell a little bit, there's a section here that this is a 239 foot section that they plan to abandon.
And they're potentially wanting to add a driveway and gate opener here. The rest of this particular property down here belongs to Camp Dickinson, and they do rent those out for recreational rentals and such. Those people are aware of the actual abandonment and do agree to that. So the deeded easement will actually allow VDOT to be able to back up, turn around, and continue back out 640. So I'm here tonight requesting this for Camp Dickinson and from you as to whether or not the board would want to assume the abandonment process, which would be a resolution to the board, transportation board next month.
Is there any opposition to this?
No, but I did make Mr. Gomez aware that once I start the process, I will have to put signs along that particular 239-foot area. In addition to, we will have to advertise in the paper. So in the event that there is opposition, then that is where we would need to hold a public hearing. If there is no opposition, then a public hearing will not be needed.
My question, I guess, is, so if you close that middle section, I think that you were pointing to, yeah. So is there folks that travel from through there to other properties on each side? Because it's not a dead end, it's a.
No, there's no way. I don't believe there's any easements through there. That's just the end of the campground.
That lane ends down on the camp property.
It ends at the picnic shelter down there.
Recommendation on consensus.
Well, I think we probably would have to have a motion to move forward with the request. Contingent upon the process.
So to make the motion, you'll start the process. It doesn't mean it's final unless we have a public hearing, so.
If there's no public hearing, then we'll send the letter over to the transportation board. Then it will proceed through them. The deed of easement has to be recorded. We're looking at several months of a process.
So all that property on the left side there, is that all part of the campground? So that's theirs back, all those roads going through there.
There's, I think, a little over 500 acres there.
I make a motion, we carry on. That's right.
Second. Right. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Clark. Next, under new business will be the large item schedule. Scale.
As you have before you in your packets, this year's proposed large item collection for solid waste in the county. The dates are for as follows. Monday's regular collection route would be collected March 20th and following. Tuesday's regular collection route, April 3rd and following. Wednesday's regular collection route would be April 24th and following. Thursday's route would be May 8th. And Friday's regular collection route would be May 22nd and following. This year we do have a change. Registration is not necessary. But the Public Works Department asked that, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot, the Town of Independence and Town of Freeze curbside would be June 5th and following. But with no registration necessary, all items for collection would need to be out the day prior to the scheduled day for collection. So if your collection date for your regular household trash is Wednesday, then you would need to have your large items placed curbside by April 23rd, as an example.
was this correct? This was on social media, in a way, is there?
It went away because it hadn't been approved by you yet.
Okay.
This require a motion.
We asked for your approval.
Okay, second. All in favor, or any further discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye. Okay. This will be on the county's webpage, right? Good thing. The only way with the county to call it in, that's a little handy for most folks. People like me.
And it becomes so popular, they can handle all the pre-registrations.
All right, next item would be, under new business, would be surplus from Public Works.
Yes, the Public Works Department has asked that the county's, board of supervisors surplus a 2013 Mack truck that they previously used for trash collection. It has a blown motor. The VIN number for that vehicle is ending in 4823, and they would just like to, get rid of that vehicle and, they'll probably, get as much, cash out of that, selling the property as possible. But that would be another in the future.
Chair, would kind of motion to accept the recommendation. Okay. Further discussion. All right, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. And let's just go ahead and stay up there. Which brings us to the next item on our agenda is the county administrator's report, and Ms. Gahart's going to cover that in the absence of Mr. Smith.
Yes, Mr. Smith keeps a kind of a running list of things that he would like to bring to your attention. And this month he has several items here. Wanted to remind you that upcoming February the 15th, next week, the 4 p.m. burning law goes into effect. This will be in effect. This is a statewide burning ban in effect through April the 30th. And more information can be found at the Virginia Department of Forestry at www.dof.virginia.gov. Also upcoming, excuse me, is the on February the 28th of 2023, the Ag Banquet will be held at the Eagle View Event Center in Elk Creek. For more information, please contact Lindsay Young at 276-773-2471. Her extension is 146. The next thing is the Legends of Grayson Old Time Weekend. It's coming up March 31st and April 1st of this year. March 31st and April 1st. For more information on that particular event, it will be held at the 1908 courthouse. And please contact Grayson County Tourism at 276-773-8002. Also on April 1st, there will be a hazardous waste collection. This will be from 1 to 4 p.m. at our Public Works facility. It's here in the county. Hazardous waste collection and personal document shredding will be conducted. More information is on the county website and the Facebook page. So this is a great opportunity to get rid of those things that you can't put out for spring cleanup for the large item pickup. Waste or documents that you need to spring clean your house with, you can get rid of them on this day.
What was that date again? I'm sorry.
April 1st, it's a Saturday, and it's from 1 to 4 at the Grayson County Public Works facility in North Independence Avenue. Also, plans are being made for the Grayson County Ag Fair. That will be August 10th through the 12th of this fall. Again, please contact Lizzie Young for more information. Her phone number again is 276-773-2471, extension 146. And then following the fair will be the agricultural art adventure, the Ag and Art Adventure. Will be held in September of this year, September 9th and the 10th. If you're a farmer or an artist, please reach out to Tracy Cordette at 276-773-8002 for more information and participation details. All that is on the list for this month.
Very much. Not receiving anything prior from any of the supervisors on the board of supervisors time. I would make one note that the board will have a work session on February the 27th at 3 p.m. this month. And which brings us to closed session. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a little ahead of myself. If you cough, I'm sorry.
Becky Kafka, and
Thank
that's all right. Thank you so much.
you. Just state your address and
1785 Sugar Camp Lane, Independence. And I'm here representing Preserve Grayson. As you already know, we're trying to preserve the water, air, native habitat, and traditional way of life of Grayson County, and the small family-owned farms, and we're particularly concerned about pesticides in our wells and streams. And so what we found in our 2 years of research is that for more reasons than I can go into now, the laws are set up so that individuals are not very well protected from pesticide exposure. And, you know, we can attribute that to a lot of lobbying and the influence of money from huge corporations on our legal system. Well, the other thing we're starting to suspect is that a lot of science works the same way. We had an association with a professor from Virginia Tech, and we were told at the time that we had to keep it on the down low, that if her dean found out that she was helping us, that person might lose their job. And so, you know, that person doesn't return phone calls now. So that has led us to think, how many scientific studies are there on pesticides, and how many studies are there on sustainable agriculture? Not all of us are organic farmers, but we all want sustainable, regenerative agriculture so that Grayson County can continue to be the kind of place it is. And so we've pretty much decided we have to do our own science. We want to find out the truth. I mean, let's actually find out what the effect of pesticides are in our waters. And so far, 2 of us are certified to do stream monitoring with monitoring the macroinvertebrates, which are, you know, the little larvae that live in the mud and on the rocks. And, you know, more people are starting the process. And we want to get the word out and let as many people know as possible that we're doing this, that we'll come to your stream and test it. And, you know, it's a big job. We need people. And so if you know someone who would be interested or who is concerned, please let us know. We would very much like to meet with the Agriculture Committee and or the tree growers. Maybe there are things we need to know that we don't. We know that we all care about this county, and we can probably find some common ground. And just as a FYI, in the proposed state budget, there's money for a second pesticide inspector for the 17 counties of Southwest Virginia. So you're welcome for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Camilla Stevenson, is that right?
Candace
Candace.
Stevenson.
How did I get that out of that?
I'm at 615 Heights Ranch Road. And all I wanted to say is that there's a website called ewg.org. You can type in your zip code and it'll give you your water scores for like where they've tested in the surrounding area. So when I did that, we found out that the Grant community and Troutdale have the most contaminated water in this area. And that is higher than Hillsville and Galax. So I just want to say we have a problem and we need help. So we can use these services and try to test more water and see where this problem is coming from. That's all.
Thank you very much. Thanks. Oh, we have registered. Now we'll move on to fund station, and this is for consultation with legal counsel regarding specific legal matters pursuant to 2.2-3711A8 of the Code of Virginia involving strategic options for broadband. Looks like about a.